So hard to believe that we are at the finish line. The World Cup final is in less than 24 hours, maybe around that metric as we depends on when this publishes, something like that. As Drew does the 6-7 motion, we get into one of the final podcasts here of the NSMA 2026 FIFA World Cup, and it is all presented today by the LI Sports Network. Welcome to everyone watching or listening around the world. I'm Spencer Thompson alongside Drew Williamson. Proud to be with you, both of us in the same building, just at different locations of the Javits Center in New York City in the Big Apple. And we got a lot of ground to cover, even though it's two matches, Drew, but we've been immersed in Fanatics Fest the last 2 days, man. And, man, I know we had the FIFA World Cup final press conference last night, even though it really wasn't a press conference. It was more a hype pep rally.
Yeah.
But, man, it's been fun being here in New York. And it not only that, the two semifinals leading up to it has been really special. And, man, it's hard to believe the tournament's almost over.
I mean, first of all, what a journey that we've been on, and that these teams have been on. I think it's been one of the best World Cups there ever. I know I'm biased saying that because it was played in the U.S., but it's been so fun to watch. So many incredible moments, so many just big names doing what they do, and yeah, no, it's been so fun. I cannot believe it went by so fast. I can't believe it. I feel like we had just made the opening episode about the first matches of the tournament. So it's very crazy how fast time goes by.
And one of the few times we're actually in the same time zone, too, especially with the amount of
This
crazy
is
coordination it's
rare.
been to being on the
Yes.
West Coast. Yeah, it's very, very rare. Before we get started, make sure you go to the lisportsnetwork.com for the Tri-State Sports Broadcasting Premier Network, where you could catch a whole bunch of ice hockey in the Northeast. They're adding more sports to the repertoire as well in the middle of lacrosse season. You might hear me sometimes on those broadcasts remotely, maybe not. I'm proud to be one of the play-by-play guys for the LI Sports Network. Shout out to Mike Brown and company for sponsoring this episode. All right, semifinal action. We will start with the final of the semis that occurred in Atlanta Stadium, which hard to believe that there is also a contingency plan that was rumored of potentially going down to Atlanta with the wildfires and storms in New York going on right now, but they're tearing out the pitch, so that's not going to happen. It was just a rumor that most people started, but Atlanta was treated to a great matchup in its final hosting match of the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Argentina once again with a miracle comeback. 2-1 victory against England. And Drew, to be honest with you, this is one of those where first half, yellow card on both sides, not really anything to talk about. Anthony Gordon in the 55th minute opened things up for England, and it almost felt like it was too early of a goal for England, and it very much proved to be the case as it only took 7 minutes. We talked about this of Egypt, Argentina, 11 minutes for 3 goals, 7 minutes for 2 goals for Argentina at the ends of Enzo Fernandez and Lautaro Martinez. But you know what? As I say, we're going to recap that. We actually need to switch gears because one of our great colleagues and friends is on his work schedule, so we have to make sure that we're being respectful of his time. So let's swap around a little bit. The first semifinal in the 2026 FIFA World Cup, Dallas Stadium hosted France versus Spain, a final score of 2-0. Spain upset the heavy favorites to win this 2026 FIFA World Cup. And joining us now to help us recap the action and make sense of what was a monumental win for España is one of my great colleagues and friends from Chile, Isma Lopez. Isma, thank you for joining us. I know we've been trying to get you on the podcast for this incredible run for Spain for a while, but time zones not as favorable. But my friend, thank you for joining us, and I'll just ask you, how did Spain get things done against France in the semifinal?
Hello, guys. I'm really happy to be here with you. And yes, Spain has shown to be a strong team. I think the game against France, Spain was a very solid team. The result was important, of course, but the how Spain won France, the performance was even more impressive because Spain controlled the game from the first minute. France never looked comfortable in the game, and maybe the best attack in the world, Dembélé, Mbappé, Olise, and Spain didn't have problems to stop them. So yes, amazing paper for the Spanish team that tomorrow has the best final of the World Cup maybe in the last years.
Definitely, yeah. I could not agree more. I think that the Spain team came out with such a perfect strategy. Really looked like Olise and Dembele, even Mbappe at times were just so uncomfortable out there. And France never looked as cohesive as they've looked all tournament. I think they proved a lot of people wrong. I think a lot of people actually had France taking this game based off just pure talent. And their ability to attack and how they are so good in the final third. But I think that this game honestly came down to Spain plays the game better. And I think that as a team, there is nobody that possesses the ball and works in and out of the midfield from the back to the mid to the strikers. I don't think there's anybody that does that better in the entire world than the Spain team. And I think that it showed against France and it kind of rattled them a little bit. You know, France wasn't able to dominate possession like they had been in previous games. Spain was kind of leading that category. Spain was also creating more chances. Obviously, you're going to shade a bunch of people when Lamine Yamal has got the ball on the right side of the field, but I think that this Spain team came out with a perfect strategy, and I think that it ultimately came down to the better team beat the better talent, in my opinion. So that's how I looked at this game.
And Isma, I did want to ask you about this because both France and Spain 10 attempts on goal. France 3 on target, 2 on target. Spain possessed the ball 51% of the time, so it was very much even on possession of the ball. But what stands out to me is that France had 7 corner kicks. Spain had 1. And the fact that France was not able to get a goal in this game, one of my colleagues I was sitting with, I believe it was Ale from AIPS as well, mentioned that he felt that the game was won in the midfield, but it was just such a complete game by both sides. But I wanted to ask you specifically, Isma, how impressive to you was Spain's back line and really their set play defense against France?
The Spain defense line is the most impressive for for Spanish people because before the tournament there were a lot of doubts with the back line of Spain, and finally Laporte and Cubarsí are always in the lineup. People spoke about Hausen of Real Madrid, spoke about Eric Garcia, maybe other center backs, but finally Laporte and Cubarsí, the tournament of both, it's unbelievable. For me, the two best defense of the World Cup, without doubt. And about the stats, there is a stats, Spencer, about the expected goals. France only had 0.3 expected goals, I think, and it's the stats the less expected goals in a World Cup match since 1966. The
Wow.
World Cup of 1966, since Opta, the platform Opta, analyze the stats of the tournament. So it's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, it's very much a World Cup that has shattered a lot of stats, and that happens when you add more teams to it. But I, you know, I T-Bull could not join us for this episode, but his exact words were, "There's not a lot for me to talk about," and I think it's, and he's had a lot of great things to chat about in the previous wins, Drew. But I I guess what stands out to me is that when I was in stadium in Dallas, I kept having this lingering thought of Mbappe is going to do something. Like Dembele is going to do something. Olise being substituted out was a shocker to me, but it shows you how Deschamps really wanted to, I guess, light a fire to show, hey, one of our stars here, he is not performing. Let's bring someone else in to try to bring in that spark. And I know that Deschamps it's been announced that he is not announced. He was going to step down from the head coaching role once the tournament was done. But now Zidane is essentially confirmed as the next coach for Team France, which another one of those rumors that was bound to happen. But what do you think, Drew, that this says about France in their shutout loss when they were basically shutting every team out in this World Cup?
I think it's really difficult because I think that there's so much expectation with this France team because of the talent they have. Like, and of course, I mean, when you have that much talent on your team, of course you're going to be expected to win every match. Of course you're going to be expected to win big games like they had against Spain. I genuinely believe this is a big lesson for them as far as working as a team, because I feel like there is no better nation that works more as a team than Spain. I mean, and you can see that in the game. Like I said, I believe France has a more talented team than Spain, but Spain plays the right way and they play a better brand of football than France does. And I just think that it is unfortunate. I know Thibault probably. I mean, when he said he didn't have much to talk about, it's true. I mean, they didn't look good, and sometimes they come out. Sometimes you can be the greatest team ever. You come out, it's not your day. Some games, but unfortunately, you can't do that in the semifinal of a World Cup. So it's unfortunate. I think I'm not worried about the future of France. They'll bounce back. They've been in the last two World Cup finals, so I think that they'll bounce back. This team is still loaded and has so much talent in today, and I just think that some days it's just not your day. But you really got to give this credit to Spain, because Spain played a dominant brand of football.
I had Spencer. Sorry, I had the same feeling about Mbappe.
Yeah.
I was scared because Mbappe will do something in some moments, no, of the game, of the end of the game. But I remember the final against Argentina, where Mbappe in two plays with two shots put the draw in the score. So I was scared until the referee put the final whistle of the referee. But again, Spain limited Mbappe's influence during all game, and France relied too much on Mbappe. So
Yeah, and you're right. Mbappe had a couple of free kick opportunities outside of the box, and you could tell he was curling that soccer ball or that football. He was curling it and trying to find it in just an impossible shot. And Drew, you mentioned it. There are only two nations who have gone to three consecutive World Cup finals, the last being Brazil from 94 to 2002, and West Germany about a couple of years before that. And Isma, I wanted to ask you one more thing. The Spain team, the only goal they have conceded was against Belgium, which surprisingly, it was not Lukaku, which is a shocker in that aspect. But as we go into this World Cup final against a very tough frontline attack for Argentina, how much is Spain going to have to lean into Unai Simon as they try to get to the finish line?
Unai Simon is the goalkeeper of Luis de la Fuente. Maybe Joan Garcia or David Raya are better than Unai Simon, but Unai Simon is the leader of the defense of the back line. So Luis de la Fuente has a lot of confidence on him. All Spanish people trust in Unai Simon. Only one goal received in all tournament. So Spencer, Unai Simon is our goalkeeper. Zero doubt on him.
And to be fair, though, that one goal that was conceded, I don't think any goalkeeper is stopping that. Not Courtois, not Ramirez, nobody. Because it's just one of those incredible shots by Belgium to make it in. So if that's the only goal he concedes and he ends up getting the Golden Glove for this, I don't think anyone's going to have an issue with it. Because it's incredible. And Spain is continuing to make records, and I'm sure you would agree, Isma, this looks very much like that 2010 Spain team that went on such an incredible run. And now they have a chance to play for their second World Cup championship here in a matter of about a day's time. How nervous are you?
No, a lot, a lot. I can't sleep. I can't sleep. I'm really looking forward to the Sunday day. So I think it's the perfect World Cup final. Everything around Messi and Lamine Yamal, the famous photo, no, in the bath. Wow,
Yeah.
it's amazing. Spain are the European champions. Argentina are the CONMEBOL champions, and defending the World Cup championship. Everything. I think really, I think it's the best game in this century. Above all, about the expectation of the game, everything around the previous days. I really think it's the best game in this century of football.
Let's hope that it lives up to the hype, not just the first time number 1 and number 2 ranked teams are facing off in the final, but also the first time that the champions of Europe and South America are facing off in the final. Isma, we know you have to get back to work. We appreciate you carving out some time amidst your busy schedule. Let's hopefully have some positive things to talk about in our final recap show next week. How's that sound?
Thank you, Spencer. Good luck for tomorrow in the final. It's a really good experience. You have a lot of luck, no, to be there in the MetLife Stadium. So enjoy this experience, and thank you for calling me for this podcast, and I wish Spain win. Spain will tomorrow.
I am rooting for you and Martin equally, as always. So, appreciate it, Isma.
Thank you, colleagues. Thank you.
All right, as we were talking about, Drew, England and Argentina. So we knew that Spain was eagerly watching on this matchup. But as I was saying before Isma had joined us, Anthony Gordon opened things up in the 55th minute. And it felt like England scored way too early, and it very much played out that way.
Yeah.
And not only that, I know there's a lot of criticism that was given to Coach Tuchel on the substitutions he made, and especially moving Kane back to the defensive side to just try and basically play prevent defense on the back end. I get that. But I think if they don't score in the 55th minute, maybe give it. I mean, of course, 7 minutes for 2 goals is the problem here, right? But I think maybe if they manage to score in the 75th minute, it's a different story. And that's, again, understanding how quick that the team Argentina has been able to score throughout this tournament, especially with their backs against the wall. But other than that, the fact that England was able to even get one goal off of this is shocking to me. 5 attempts on goal, 2 on target. Argentina had 14 attempts on goal, 5 on target. Argentina had the ball 63% of the time. They had 6 corner kicks to England's 1. This was Argentina's game to lose, and the fact that they were down a goal up until the 85th minute, it shows you again how this Argentina team is battle tested in being in these top tier moments as they have been for the last several editions of the World Cup. But this is just one of those to me that England had the chance to shut things down, but in my opinion, they should have put a lot more pressure on sooner than later, because maybe they could have gotten a second goal. Maybe they could have gotten a little more of their foot on the gas in a way. But if you give Messi an inch, he's going to take a mile, especially because he assisted on both of those goals and didn't need to score in this one, which I know the last couple of games he had that incredible streak going on of scoring a goal in consecutive World Cup games. But you give Messi and this Argentina team an inch, they're going to take multiple miles. And England, once again, they unfortunately disappoint their fan base after trying to get closer and closer to the World Cup final.
Yeah, I think that this is a very tough loss for England, because that narrative of they can't win big games and they always choke when it matters, it's kind of, we're still seeing that. And this was England's year to win it, in my opinion. If they were ever going to win a World Cup, I genuinely believe this was the year. I agree completely when you said that they scored too early, because when they scored after their goal, first of all, it's a very physical game. I mean, both teams did not like each other. They were trying to kill each other out there. It was a very, very hard fought game. But when England scored their first goal and went up 1-0, they went so conservative and way too relaxed, and was just like, let's just park the bus. We're going to move everybody back. And you cannot do that against Argentina. You cannot give Argentina's attack 40 minutes, a little above 40 minutes, to just pepper Pickford with shots. And Pickford, by the way, I just want to say, he played an unbelievable game in goal for England. I mean, really did. Like some of the saves he was making, he was single-handedly keeping England in this game for a long time. But like you said, when you have Lionel Messi on the pitch, and when you have guys that have been there and know the moment, you can't ever doubt this Argentina team, because every time you do, they prove you wrong. And I don't know if I picked England or Argentina. I think I picked England. You just can't. You just can't doubt Lionel Messi and this Argentina team. They'll always find a way to come back. I watched pretty much the whole game, and I saw Argentina get their equalizer. I knew it was coming. I knew they were going to. I had that feeling. And then I actually missed the last goal, because that was when I was like getting off my plane and stuff.
Yeah.
And so, but I thought the game was going to go to extra time. So I was like, okay, it's 1-1 going to extra time. And then I turned my phone back on to watch the game, and it was like everybody's walking off the field. And I'm like, wait a minute, what happened? I scroll and I was like, oh my gosh, they got one in the 3rd minute of stoppage time, Martinez. So it's just they're the gift that keeps on giving. It really is. And like, they just keep dominating. And it's really unfortunate for England. I think the strategy, and a lot's going to be looked at off the head coach, because their strategy after they scored that goal was terrible, and they should have kept pressing the way that they were and not been so defensive and so just conservative with having that 1-0 lead, because everybody knows a 1-0 lead in soccer is very, very, it's a scary lead. It's a scary, scary lead. And so I just don't think that England was ready for the moment like Argentina was. And as bad as I say that, because I genuinely believe this was England's year, it's another year where they've proven the narrative.
Yeah, we both went 0-2 in our semi picks, because we both thought this was going to be a France-England final.
Yes, we did.
And I thought that the moment was going to be too.
Now that I think about it.
Well, and more importantly, it's because I thought that this Argentina team was worn down, especially with the amount of extra time games they had leading up into it and too many close calls, and that England was going to be able to shut things down. And you mentioned it was their year. But especially sitting in stadium next to Halle, like looking at this, like, and he was at the Cabo Verde Argentina game for the round of 32. Well, He may no, he wasn't at that one. Sorry, he was at one. He's been at I think all the games in Dallas and Houston, so it was one
Mm.
of those mixture ones. But anyways, we were talking to each other. This once we score the one goal, we're looking at each other. We're like, we're thinking Messi's going to score the equalizer, right?
Yeah.
Which I mean, he was involved in both of the goals, but he didn't actually score one. But I'm sure you tell Lionel Messi about it, he's going to say, well, it's a team effort. It doesn't matter whether I score or not. But the fact that
Yeah.
he's still creating those chances is big in of itself. But yeah, I had the sentiment too. And more importantly, I was telling you about this. I had to quickly catch my flight to get out to New York. Now,
Mm.
as it turned out, I got delayed in Miami and had to stay the night, but that's neither here nor there. But I had to quickly get on the MARTA once the game was over. I'm like, thank God it didn't go to extra time, because otherwise I probably would have missed my flight.
Yeah.
But it was still one of those where I thought I really, not just because I picked him in the semi, but I really wanted to see Harry Kane get a chance for a World Cup final. Same. Also, where was Jude Bellingham? Where
Where was
was
he?
he during that semifinal? He had like a couple of fouls for and against on the stat sheet, but other than that, he was not stepping up like he should have. Like, I mean,
Mm.
even Harry Kane on his aspect throughout the game, if I'm not mistaken, he didn't even have an attempt on goal. He was 2 fouls against and 4 fouls for. So, and again, Kane had to play. He was swapped over by Tuchel to defense. Like the moment that we get to about, I think it was around the 72nd minute when they started making those substitutions, and I'm seeing Harry Kane clear things out of the back line. Like, I'm looking at Holly, and Holly's saying, why is Kane being defense here? Like, why are we just deciding to settle for, you know what, let's just defend the back line and not try to pressure it down the other side? Because that's what Argentina has also done so well in their one-sided games, as has Spain, as has France when they were dominating, as has trying to remember another one for you. But basically, any of the dominant teams throughout this World Cup, when they have a lead, they're playing keep away and they're pressuring
Mm.
the ball to the other side, even if they're just dancing around with it and passing and passing. Prevent defense does not work in the World Cup. I'm sorry, like it just
Especially against
doesn't work.
Argentina.
Oh yeah, especially against Argentina, who has so many dominant attackers in the forward and I mean in the midfield too. So it was just very much one of those where if England really wanted to have a reasonable chance at this, now if we have an equalizer and we go to extra time, okay, maybe the fatigue starts coming down on Argentina a little bit, but you gave them the chance to settle it in regulation. And yes, I know there were 11 minutes of additional time in the second half, but there was a lot of stoppages and a lot of uh, injuries and things that had to warrant that. But still, the moment you know it's 11 minutes, maybe you do prevent defense in
Mm.
extra time, but not through 55 minutes forward when you have a 1-0 lead. Like, it just, for the life of me, it just doesn't make any sense. And I know there's a lot of people who are criticizing Coach Tuchel about this and saying, well, he's the one who lost them the game. I, I I don't agree with this decision. I don't know if it cost him the game necessarily because, again, Kane, Bellingham, you didn't have a shot on goal. You guys didn't really have an opportunity in any capacity when you only have 5 attempts on target. I think
Mhm.
that was the main problem for England is they were not generating enough shots on goal.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's frustrating. I feel like Jude and Harry Kane a little bit both got a little frustrated with the physicality of Argentina, and that kind of it reflected in their play a little bit. But credit to Argentina's back line. I thought they played solid against the England attack. That's very good. They I will say England has done one really good thing this entire World Cup, and that's build up their attack. I think that their build up
Yeah.
play is amazing. But they definitely didn't look quite as in sync in the first half, and then even when they scored that goal, they didn't even try to attack. They played so defensive that it just didn't matter. It kind of took Bellingham and Kane both out of the game, in a sense. So yeah, it's definitely going to be looked at a lot. As far as what could you always look at games where you lose and you're like, what could we have done more? And I mean, there's a big narrative right now for England of what they could have done to prevent this loss. So.
Yeah, but congratulations to both Spain and Argentina on a hard-fought battle in the semis to make it to the World Cup final. I mean, difficult enough as it is to get there. I mean, for Argentina to be in back-to-back World Cup final appearances is astonishing in itself for them to, make that path. But And credit to the run that both England and France have had to get to the Final Four as well. I mean, tough battles, some tough games, low scoring affairs as well in a good amount of their matchups in the elimination phases. So they have that third place playoff. So somebody gave a fun proposal. The top 3 teams in the previous World Cup, make them automatically qualify for the next one. So that way the third place game matters a little bit more. I tell you, that's a good idea for me. I don't know if FIFA would ever entertain that sort of stuff, but that'd be kind of fun. But regardless of the stakes, England and France play for this third place playoff. And yes, both sides wanted to face off against each other, but not in this capacity. I think England has to hate that they're back in Miami after that match against Norway and having to deal with the humidity and the abysmal conditions. France has not gone down there at all. They mostly stayed in the Northeast. The closest they went is to Philly, which, yes, was a abysmally hot day in their one game against Paraguay. But England at least has a little bit of climate adjustability on that, and they've mostly been around the South and a couple of indoor stadiums and things. I think that England takes this one. I think they have a little bit more pride in their shoulders to try and win this, especially. And again, their bodies are already adjusted to this Miami condition. So I think England wins this. The last time I said this was going to be a low-scoring game in Miami, I was completely wrong. Where it went to a 2-1 game against Norway. So I'm going to take this to be, I'll say 2-0. I'll say 2-0. I think that France doesn't score a goal in this one. They're completely deflated. And I think that England takes third place in this FIFA World Cup. And to my knowledge, this would be the first time that they would, this would be the first time that they take third place ever in a FIFA World Cup. So I think England makes history on that aspect.
Yeah, so this is a game where it's kind of just like one of those that how serious are France and England going to take this game? Because it's a third place game. Neither team wanted to be in the position they are, but they are. And I could so easily see France, with the amount of talent they have, kind of being like bad attitude about it and just being like, "Oh, we're not in the final. I don't even care. It's just, this game means nothing to me." And I could see England reversing that and saying, "Oh, well, this is still. I mean, we're still battling for a third place for a finish we hadn't had." And what did you say that there was the? When's the last time England? When's the last time You said that third place would be their best finish ever?
No. They won the World Cup in 1966.
That's what I thought. Okay.
They've been fourth place in 1990 and 2018, but they have never gotten third place. So
that's what you said. So yeah, something they never done in history, and I could so see that happening. That being said, though, I'm back in France, and I'm going with the boys in blue, and I think that they're gonna win this game. I think it's gonna be a 2-1 scoreline. Again, though, it's all about how serious they take it. I do think they have to take it a little bit serious because I think some of them want Mbappe to win the Golden Boot. And obviously the third place game does count. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm going to go France 2-1.
Yeah, I would not be surprised if it's a 2-1 scoreline. Hopefully Kane scores. Hopefully Mbappe scores. All of that.
Absolutely.
But we'll see how it goes. But now we get to the prediction everybody's been waiting for. The 2026 FIFA World Cup final. There are rumors about the World Cup final being moved. That ain't happening because every single one of the other stadiums in this World Cup has had their field stripped of the natural grass mix. I think Seattle had the same field conditions for it at Seattle Stadium. So that's the only one technically that could have it, but there's no way FIFA is moving all the way across country through time zones and everything to try and, work this out. And there's a whole bunch of storms right now in the New York area that's supposed to be clearing out all this debris and such. It's supposed to be a great finish to the weekend tomorrow. Even Lionel Messi said it was crazy to think that he was holding baby Lamine Yamal for a charity photo shoot. A lot of people thought that was AI, which, which it makes sense in today's day and age, but it was actually real, and he even thinks it's crazy. First time that the reigning champions of Europe and South America within the Euro and Copa America are facing off. First time number 1 versus number 2 are facing off in the World Cup final. Argentina's wins in the knockout rounds. They won against Cape Verde in the 111th minute. They beat Egypt in the 92nd minute, part of stoppage time. They beat Switzerland in the 112th minute. 92nd minute stoppage time against England. They have not led after 90 minutes of any knockout game, but somehow, some way, this team is in the World Cup final.
That's crazy.
Also, fun fact, the World Cup final is being faced off against 2 teams who could not beat Cabo Verde in 90 minutes, which still tells you that this Cabo Verde team was tremendous. This is also a lot of pomp and circumstance. I mean, Donald Trump has confirmed he's going to be there. New York is going to be treated to. I agree with Isma. I think this is going to be the match of the decade, if not the match so far of the 21st century for the beautiful game. I also find it cool that FIFA is now giving Super Bowl style championship rings to whoever wins the World Cup final, in addition to the gold medals that they have. Not a bad price tag if you want one of the other about 1,900 of them, Drew. $2,500 if you want that winning ring. But I tell you, this is going to be a tremendous World Cup final. It is going to be all the hype, all of everything around it. I have made the mistake multiple times of picking against Lionel Messi here in my predictions. I have made the mistake in the semifinal of picking against Spain. Spain has only conceded 1 goal. If I got my number right, Argentina has conceded for a total of 5 goals here in this World Cup. They've conceded at least 1 goal in 4 games straight. Both these teams are going to concede at least 1 goal. I'm not going to go as bold as to say this goes to a penalty shootout, as great as that would be to have 2 World Cup finals back-to-back where it goes PKs. I just don't see it getting to that point. I think maybe extra time, and it gets down to a last-second goal, but for the first time since Brazil did this back in, 1958 and 1962, Argentina is going to win back-to-back FIFA World Cup finals, and they will win it in Qatar. They're winning it in the United States. I think it comes off of a last-second goal in extra time. Whether it be Lionel Messi or somebody else, I don't know. Especially because Messi has shown that he can be involved in situations like that. But I have Argentina lifting the trophy for the 4th time in their team's history, and yet again making history by being just the 2nd team to have back-to-back World Cup championships. So Lionel Messi gets his 2nd. I know we've talked about why would you not play in the 2030 World Cup if you're as good and with Argentina hosting at least 1 match, but if he wins it, if he wins this, he has to. Like, he absolutely has to. It does not make any sense. Maybe he does like one ceremonial going out on the pitch for Argentina or something like that in 2030. But yeah, it's Argentina's winning it this time. Spain will concede, and it will be so hard to believe that a team that only concedes 2 goals does not come out on top at the end of the World Cup.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many storylines going into this game. Obviously, you have, the riser in Lamine Yamal, who is a sensational young talent, just recently turned 19, and he's already accomplished so many things. And he has the chance to win a World Cup. And that, at the age of 19, when he's already won a Euros, he's already won so many other awards, and he's 19. If you add a World Cup to that, that's incredible. I saw some stat where he's only not won 3 awards, and he's 19. He's won every other thing you could possibly win. He's incredible. He's an incredible young talent. But then you have the veteran who a lot of people across the board think is the greatest of all time in Lionel Messi, who he's facing. And this is just it's such a good storyline, and it really is a very poetic World Cup ending, that one of these teams will be lifting the trophy. Believe it or not, I do think Spain is the better team. I think that they possess better. I think that they play a great brand of soccer, and I think that they play more cohesive, and they start games better. They don't concede as many goals as Argentina. Argentina looked a little bit out of sorts in some of their knockout games. Cabo Verde was one of them, and then Egypt another. But you can't. I've doubted Lionel Messi and this Argentina team too much, and I'm not going to be wrong again. I agree with your prediction. I think that they will go back to back for the first time since Brazil. And I think Lionel Messi will get his second World Cup, which is just incredible. I mean, this is so incredible what we've gotten to watch out of him this World Cup. And absolutely, you retire if you are Lionel Messi if you win this World Cup. I mean, there's no question about it. You retire, and it's not even a question in my opinion. But I just think that I think that Argentina just has that championship pedigree. And I literally think Spain is the better team, but I'm picking Argentina. I'm going to go 1-1 end of regulation, and then I'm going to say Argentina gets a goal in extra time to make it 2-1 and break Spanish hearts.
Lamine Yamal is, barring any extreme circumstances, knock on wood, he will be the fourth teenager ever to the fourth or fifth teenager to start in a World Cup final.
Wow.
So there are three that have started and won it. That was Pele in 58, Giuseppe Bergomi of Italy in 1982, and Mbappe in 2018. The reason I say about fifth is because Ronaldo Nazario was on the roster in 1994 when they won, but he did not actually play in the final match itself. But at 19, I believe he'd be the fourth youngest. I have to look back at the exact days of his age and Kylian Mbappe's when the match was in 2018. But I believe someone said technically the past, present, and future with Messi, and now the future with Yamal. Man, I hope we see a lot more because Yamal and Mbappe didn't really go at it that much in their semifinal. There were a couple times they were battling and had some fouls called against one another, but it really wasn't that. It really wasn't that much of a battle. Yamal and Messi. If we have a battle between those two in some capacity, oh man, that'll be great.
It's gonna be fun.
Great television to watch. But oh man, hard to believe we're at the finish line and the World Cup final is almost here. Perfect timing for Thunder to come in.
I was about to say, I just saw
the fact that I heard that in my headset too is just
I just saw
incredible.
the craziest lightning strike too, so I knew that was coming. This is crazy storms going on. Glad we're indoors.
I believe Drew is a level above me here because I'm near a plug with my laptop and stuff, but I can't really. I'm just seeing a wall in front of me, and the rest of the glass stuff is all behind me. So, but I can hear and feel that. Hopefully, it's just as thunderous in New York, New Jersey tomorrow. But that's going to wrap up this episode of the NSMA 2026 FIFA World Cup podcast. Special thank you again to the LI Sports Network for sponsoring this episode. A happy birthday to our colleague Brady Campbell, who just celebrated it yesterday, and hopefully we'll get to see him tonight when this episode publishes and everything. We got ourselves a party going on tonight here in the Long Beach, New York area, which should be a lot of fun. But be sure to check out the link in the description. Donate to the podcast, help support our efforts as we get to the finish line in this World Cup journey. And be sure to stick around for the final podcast episode next week where we recap both of the final matches and put a nice bow on everything. For Drew Williamson, thanks again to Isma Lopez for joining us all the way from Spain, all the hardworking men and women that make this run so smoothly. I'm Spencer Topset saying so long from the Javits Convention Center in New York and Fanatics Fest. Hope everybody has a good watch party for the final planned or has some sort of good plans to watch the conclusion of the 2026 FIFA World Cup final. We'll see you to wrap it up next week. Hey there, thank you so much for listening or watching the NSMA 2026 FIFA World Cup podcast. A special thank you to our Platinum Insiders, the Banzet family, Robert Eggleston and Jason Edmonds, for their support of the podcast. If you'd like to support the podcast and my journey to the 2026 FIFA World Cup, the link is in the description. Not only are all donations potentially tax deductible, as the NSMA is a 501c3 nonprofit, but you also can get your name here on this graphic in the description, and you could get some exclusive behind-the-scenes content. Appreciate those of you who have donated so far, those who are going to donate, and hope you enjoy the rest of the podcast during the 2026
FIFA World Cup.